gentlemen, um, in this episode we're going to talk about this particular render. It's a Mercedes AMG GT S, and probably I spent the most time on this particular render. It was really just a pain finishing this. For a long time I was not using this backplate, and it looked off, and I was thinking about ditching it and keeping it, then ditching it again. And after others told me too that I should really ditch it because it just doesn't live up to the other ones, to the previous renders, I said I'm gonna give it one more try, change the backplate, see if it looks something, and if it doesn't, then I'm just gonna delete the whole thing and goodbye. So yeah, in this episode I'm not gonna go through the 3ds Max part, although I'm gonna talk about it, but it's pretty much the basic like in the previous ones. It really makes no sense to go in it again. By the way, I'm honestly sorry if I talk weird or slow or too fast, but it's 6 AM and that's not the time when I just woke up. Alright, so let's start with this one. This was the basic 32-bit render that is saved. As you can see, there's many things that is really bad in this render. This was the original backplate. I got it from HDRI-Locations.com. I really like this location. I honestly loved it. It's in Iceland, if I'm not wrong. But as the weeks passed by and I was writing this article and I was just looking at this image and like, man, this just does not match this car at all. So I will end up changing it later. So first of all, what I usually do when I get a new render is I basically make a new layer, pick up a normal brush tool, and basically start circling things that are bad. In this case, as you can see, like some weird reflections that should not be there, shadows, more reflections, and basically here I will add a big layer or like a studio-like reflection. Cut out those. My reflections do not match up. The model had some bumps, and basically this happens, and I will have to like brush it back by hand and fill it out so it doesn't look that bad. Then my windshields were curved, and that's pretty much it. I had some issues with the backplate too. When I added the motion blur to the backplate, I didn't do the masking very well. So as you can see, that this is blurred and that is not, and actually that's pretty close to this grass. And so does the water. The water or ocean is blurred here but not there anymore, and I will end up fixing that later, then actually ditching it. So I'm gonna hide this, but I'm gonna keep it. First of all, I forgot to circle it here. Number plates. Looks unprofessional, or in this case especially. So let's start. As I said, I'm still in 32 bits, so I cannot use the liquify tool. So these are all hand paint. I fixed some of the reflections there. Then came a bigger pack where I got rid of that shadow, fixed my windshield, and well, went a bit freeform and just drew things how I thought that it would look better. Then came the driver. I just added a random stock photo, quite dark because it did not match up as usually. Yeah, I ended up making the shadow a bit softer towards the end. I basically re-rendered with the how is it called? with the region render in 3ds Max, I basically just re-rendered this part of the shadow, and then I just masked it in so it blends in properly. And then I rendered this piece again, and I rendered it without the number plate. Then I kept looking at it, and I found that the lights look a bit too dark, so I actually rendered it with emissive materials. Road lights are going to be on every single time a professional render is made. You can see that the lights are on, so rather than just painting it with the brush, I actually rendered it. It was really no time. Here I was trying to add some clouds to the window, but I did not keep that. It didn't look good. And that was pretty much it. At this point I converted it into 16 bits, and I did a color correction. This is what it looked like. As you can see, many things that I fixed. I actually added some lens flares and all that here and there. I really ended up liking this color. It gave me like a nice greenish gradient there and a bluish gradient there, and the gold yellowish in the middle. I liked it a lot, but I still felt like something has to be done, and I actually ended up cropping the image, rotating it a bit, adding a big sun here. Yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention the HDRI from this backplate, the one that was provided. It was good, it was really nice. However, in order to get these shadows, I had to rotate it in a way that it looked totally wrong and totally stupid on the car. So my friend Jeff basically came up with an idea to crop out the sun, basically delete it from the HDRI, fill it in with normal sky, add it like that to the scene, and then just basically add a Corona sun here to get the normal shadows, and I can rotate the HDRI however I want it. Just, you know, make sure to don't overdo it, otherwise you're gonna have some weird lights on the car. As you can see here, it's kinda bright, however I will end up making that piece a bit more dark. And that's pretty much it. In the next step, by the way, I saved multiple PSD files because I was changing my mind constantly with this render. So that's why usually I run by two. One is for the 32 and the next one is a 16-bit and final. So I'm not gonna go through these. I really don't think it's necessary. What I did is added some fogginess to that back mount and color correction, that's all. And this ended up looking like this. As you can see, I made a 16:9 crop. Actually rotated it too. It like aligns up a bit better with the eyes. I may have overdid it. Actually, I'm kind of sure that I overdid it with all these purple, bluish, yellowish lights that coming off the sun, and the birds that I just recently heard that they are cliche. So yeah, I was looking at this render for weeks, and man, I said I like it, but I don't like it, so let's redo it. Then came the idea to make this. I used a stock photo. I had that. I have many stock photos, but this was pretty much the only that I liked. And when I say that I liked, that means that I tried at least 20, and they just all look like garbage. So it was pretty easy to mask it. I still kept the road from the original one and the grass, but everything else was changed, and in the end I just added a bright spot as the sun. The mask, you can see it's here. I basically used the alpha from the car, and then I just painted more black on this part too. You can see, and there you go. You can see there's the old backplate, and this is basically the new. And that's pretty much it. Alright, actually I'm gonna close this right here. I would like to ask you all to give a honest opinion about the render, if it lives up to the other ones or not. I'm honestly curious, and I'm actually just curious if I should have kept it really or just really ditch it. I'm not 100% satisfied, but it would be just too much time to work on one render, and like everything starts to blend already, and really I just want to move past this and concentrate on newer ones. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time.